and let us all do we can to build a better future. Fight for you. They were never, ever, ever, ever going to fight for you. Do you understand that? They were never going to do that. They were never going to stick their necks out for you. They weren't going to fight for you. They never respected you. Okay? The squad is a joke. The House progressives are a joke. Democratic voters. I mean, seriously, these are your champions. Here, I want to pull up a video from Case Study QB just so all of you can get an idea of just how easily these progressives can be pushed around. Because now you have people like Chris Matthew who praise progressives for working with the middle. The squad really didn't cause a lot of trouble this time because they never were going to cause trouble. The fact that there are people who think the squad are fighters is downright embarrassing.
But it did turn out that in the end, and I have problems with the left, but they came aboard and they said, we're going to work with the middle. And that the Democratic Party, which is always accused of being, divided, Democrats divided as usual or something, usual canard, they worked together.
Hakeem Jeffries played
and the star, another
exactly.
And he was the one that Nancy Pelosi wanted. I'm sure Clyburn goes along with him. He was the leader of the blacks. He's a young guy. He was a very attractive, an alternative to AOC. But you notice the squad really didn't cause a lot of trouble this time.
So let's just cut through all the BS through that. What they're saying is they know that Hakeem Jeffries is a good little foot soldier for the establishment and the corporate donors. Now, AOC and the squad, they were never going to fight back because, well, they're not going to do that. Okay, what makes you think that they actually have what it takes to actually hold the line, push back, and fight back? They don't. They never did. And again, to everyone's point, in the possibility, if the Democrats ever regain the House, I'm willing to bet 10 out of 10 that the House progressives are going to fall in line and not withhold their vote for Hakeem Jeffries. They're all going to give their vote to Hakeem Jeffries, just like how Bernie Sanders was quick to give his full support to Joe Biden. I mean, it's simple as that.
Time. The left, if you will, the progressive, 101 members of that caucus, I just noticed that they got only 46 against the bill. So in other words, most of the progressives went with Biden, which is very interesting.
Let me tell you something. It goes counter to the caricature, Chris and Rev and everybody else, the caricature of the progressive caucus and the Democratic Party. They're supposed to be Marxist, extremist, this, that, the other. You look at, and it's, as you know very well, it's not always been this way with the progressive caucus. You look at
it's always been that way, Joe. It's always been that way. They could have, look, there were not one, but numerous incidents in which the squad could have stood in solidarity with their voting base, like was forced to vote in 2021. The March for Medicare for All, which took place in 2021. The Fight for 15, which was destroyed by 8 Democratic senators. Didn't fight. The 3-day General Strike Summit meeting, again. And yes, Roger Meadows, you tipped $2. Chris did say Clyburn is the leader of the blacks. In fact, here, let's go ahead and rewind that just so you guys can hear that, because I think it's fantastic.
And the Democratic Party, which is always accused of being, divided, Democrats divided as usual or something, usual canard, they worked together.
Hakeem Jeffries played
and the star, another exactly. And he was the one that Nancy Pelosi wanted. I'm sure Clyburn goes along with him. He was the leader of the blacks. He's a young guy.
He's the leader of the blacks. Hey, that's Chris's words, not mine. Here.
Wanted. I'm sure Clyburn goes along with him. He was the leader of the blacks. He's a young guy.
Oh, all right. There it is. Hakeem Jeffries, according to BSDNC, leader of the blacks.
He was a very attractive, an alternative to AOC. But you notice the squad really didn't cause a lot of trouble this time. The left.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Jamoon93 says, really? I didn't know we had a figurehead. Well, now you know.
If you will, the progressive, 101 members of that caucus, I just noticed that.
And yes, to Amber Gringo, he probably meant to say leader of the Black Caucus, but it's already out there on the internet. So, internet, have fun. Have fun.
They got only 46 against the bill. So, in other words, most of the progressives went with Biden, which is very interesting.
Let me tell you something. It goes counter to the caricature, Chris and Rev and everybody else, the caricature of the progressive caucus and the Democratic Party. They're supposed to be Marxist, extremist, this, that, the other. You look at, and it's, as you know very well, it's not always been this way with the progressive caucus. You look at the extreme discipline. You want to talk about extreme. They have disciplined themselves. They've stood shoulder to shoulder with a moderate president they don't agree with on a lot of things. They have been there for the big votes when Nancy Pelosi needed them for the big votes. They were there last.
Because Mama Bear told them what's going to happen if they're not there. Come on, the squad doesn't have a backbone.
Tonight, some of them, I completely respect them, say we can't vote for this, but we're there. We had Roe on yesterday who said, I'm not going to vote for it, but I understand Joe Biden did the best that anybody could have possibly done.
Oh, yes. Yes, the squad. They know. But hold on. Senator Dick Durbin discussing the nature of the compromises. Progressives get nothing from the debt ceiling bill. Let's check it out.
Some analysts would go further. Politico put it that this is actually a nightmare for progressives, writing, it restricts non-defense spending, green lights a fossil fuel project, ends the pause on student loan payments, and imposes work requirements on some people receiving SNAP benefits, also known as food stamps. So overall, are you concerned that some of these things are going to have to be addressed right now? We're already in the middle of some votes and just one in the Senate about that student loan pause.
Well, I can tell you that there are parts of this that I don't like at all.
Gee, Dick. Senator Dick Durbin. Tell us what you don't like about the bill, Dick. Apparently, there seems to be a lot of things wrong with this little debt ceiling negotiation, Dick. What's wrong with it, Dick? Why don't you speak out, Dick? Tell us how you really feel, Dick.
But that's the nature of a compromise. Let me tell you what wasn't on that list and I would have added. It'll be the first cut in medical research at the National Institutes of Health in the last 10 years. If there's anything we ought to do as a nation, it's invest in medical research. It pays off in so many ways, alleviating human suffering and saving lives. And to cut that, if that is Speaker McCarthy's idea of cutting back on profligate spending, I think that's the wrong-headed approach. So I don't like all of it, but I certainly don't like the fact that we run the risk of defaulting on the national debt for the first time. We can't let that happen.
Yeah, can't let it happen. So progressives, shut up, take it up the wazoo, stop asking questions, and carry on. That's it. Stop asking questions, people. Stop asking questions and move on. Don't bother anybody. So, House progressives, well done. You got nothing. Democratic voters, good luck to you. I have to wonder just how much further does the squad have to fall for enough of their sycophants to realize that you cannot reform the Democratic Party. It's impossible to reform the Democratic Party. You can't change the Democratic Party.